How are we going, everybody? Here we are, Friday. I've had a day off. Now, what I've got for us today is the Perdomo Vintage 12-year. Now, we talked about this one the other day. This is a barrel aged and bourbon barrel aged. So it's the barrel aged is 10 years, and they stick it in the bourbon barrels for a further 2 years. So this will be a nice cigar. I've been looking forward to this one all week. So here we go. And I'm going to follow suit with what the Perdomos recommend. And I've got my bourbon and coke. And I've got the bullet bourbon. This bourbon is the first time I bought this last week. And I think it's a very nice bourbon. I generally buy I've got a full range of whiskies downstairs, but I generally buy, if I'm buying bourbon, I generally go for the Maker's Mark, which is one of my favourites. But it's the bullet bourbon at the moment. Because the Perdomos recommend with this cigar, they recommend bourbon or scotch. So I went for the bourbon. It's a big cigar. Nice. A little bit more, just even it out a little bit. There we go. That's a nice cigar. I'll have to see if I can get the ring off without breaking it this time. I really like to be able to do that. Sometimes when the heat gets down to here, the band loosens off and then you can slip it off. I think I'm not going to have any luck with this one. They do say that with the bigger ring gauges you get a better even distribution of flavour coming through. I was watching a video the other day from Cigar Aficionado, and they were talking about the Lanciers, the thin long ones. I had one the other day, the My Father Lanciers. Now they are much harder to roll. Now people tend to like them better, and because it's got the cover wrapper makes up the bulk of the cigar, then you end up by getting a lot more flavour. But they're very expensive to roll because they're so long and they have to use one leaf. So in actual fact, if you really want to spend some money and get a really nice cigar, you look at any of the bigger brands, you know, My Father, Perdomo, the AJ Fernandez has a very nice one, and so does Arturo Fuente. Lancia, they're quite long, you know. They're supposed to really pack the punch with the flavour. But I might have a few interesting videos coming up. Eric is going to Italy today, and I've given him some money, and I said, when you're going through customs, buy me a box of cigars. And I've given him a few names to look out for. So hopefully when he comes back next week, he'll have a box of cigars. So that will be a nice one. So that'll be good. Yeah, that's a nice cigar, especially after the last few days. Either you've noticed, of course, yesterday I had the day-old cigar, so that wasn't very nice. So you know, and I was almost going to toss that one away. I didn't like that very much, and then get another cigar out. But I thought, no, I will wait. I'll treat myself tomorrow to something a bit better. And I had my pipe instead. The day before that, I did the test with the rum and the bourbon, rubbing it on the outside of the cigar as well. So of course it's been a few days since I've had one of my nice cigars, so today's a bit of a treat today. Another videos I'm gonna start doing, because I now have all the stuff to renovate those old pipes that I've got inside. So soon I will have the videos ready. I've collected the last of the bits, so now I can start working on the pipes. Okay, I'm back. Sorry, that was Eric. He just had a question for me. So what was I saying? The video. So the pipes are coming up, and I will be able to start renovating those, which I was going to record and put out as well. This is a nice cigar, very easy to smoke, very smooth. The Perdomos are right, goes very well with the bourbon. I think it's funny that with bourbon and whiskey, like I'm quite happy to drink whiskey straight. You know, I've got a few different variations of whiskey downstairs, and I will change them, and I'm quite happy to stick them on ice and just drink them. But for some reason with bourbon, I sort of feel like I've got to mix it with some Coke. Then it's better. Yeah, that's really nice, as you can see. So what I might do is pause this a little bit now, smoke some of this, and then I'll come back. Okay, I'm back. As you can see, the ash is just sitting there. Really stays on tight, nice and packed. Now, here in Sweden, I paid 199 crowns for that, which is like $28, $29, something like that. Now, I did not, on the Australian website that I checked, I did not find this exact cigar, but I found other Perdomo cigars. And they started at around $40 and up, which is a bit of a shame that you guys have got to pay so much. But it is what it is. But the Perdomos, I think, are interesting. Like I said before, they draw test every single cigar. They have incredibly high standards. You know, they even have a podcast, like they have one on YouTube. So if you want a regular look at, they have this short podcast that they do on a regular basis. It can be interesting. Yeah, so it's good. And somebody asked me on there was Sam Bow 468 tag it had there, asked about the effects of nicotine and things like that. And I had a little look into it, and they've been studying, because then I thought I'd look it up to see when they tested the effects of nicotine on the body. Did they only test cigarettes, or did they test cigars and that as well? And they've been testing everything, and cigars actually test really well, which is good. And so when you're absorbing nicotine into the body when you're smoking a cigar, it goes in through your mucus glands, right? And having slightly elevated levels of nicotine are actually some benefits, right? So when they say nicotine's horrible, it's bad for you, right? When you're smoking a cigarette, of course it is. You're breathing it deep into your lungs. Cigarettes have tons of chemicals in there. If they took out the chemicals, it probably wouldn't be as bad, but still, because you're breathing it deep into your lungs, that's where the problem is. It's not actually the nicotine itself. And in actual fact, for anyone who's getting older like me, if someone says, oh, you shouldn't be smoking cigars, you can say, yes, I am. I'm helping to stave off Alzheimer's and dementia, because elevated levels of nicotine in the system has been proven to help keep dementia and Alzheimer's at bay. So there you go. All right. So there are some benefits to having slightly higher levels of nicotine. And in actual fact, in some old people where they are starting to get signs of dementia, doctors will give them nicotine patches to put on. And that's why they do it, because higher levels of nicotine helps to keep that at bay. So for all you older cigar smokers out there, when someone criticises you for smoking, you say, well, I'm fighting Alzheimer's and dementia. There you go. But yeah, I like the way the ash, as you can see, it just sits there. It just sits there nicely, and it all packs in nicely together. And I can see the band is starting to loosen off. And when I looked into the dementia thing, and there are loads of other benefits, so nicotine isn't all that bad. It's like anything else. Too much of it is bad. A little bit's fine, But I'm not saying smoking's healthy for you. But there's a difference between cigarettes, cigars, pipes. Like vapes are terrible for you, right? The studies on those have come out. That's terrible. And like cigarettes are terrible. But pipe smoking and cigar smoking, well, like it's actually not that bad, right? And actually they did a study, there was a university that did a study on 2 cigars a day for life, right? And they found that 2 cigars over your entire life would reduce your lifespan by less than 1%. So if you live to 100 and you smoke 2 cigars every day for life, it will only shorten your life by less than a year. So that means if you're living till 85, maybe it'll shorten your life by 6 months. Right? There's so many other things that are more harmful to your health and that'll shorten your life by more than 6 months. Jesus. So I don't think cigar smoke is anything we really have to worry about. Yeah, that's really good. And look how well the ash is just sitting there. That's fantastic. There it goes. What a shot too. It just fell straight into the ashtray. Yeah. So what that was, 2 inches. It was pretty good. Okay, so there we go. So soon I'll be coming out. I'll repair one of my pipes. Now that I've got all the stuff, I'll record as much as I can. I'm not very good at editing these videos, so I'll see how I go, and I'll put that out there. And if Eric does bring me back a box of cigars, which I'm hoping he does, I've given him some money for it, I'll unbox them on camera and I'll record and I'll put that one out there too. All right. And I've also got a New World's AJ Fernandez cigar, which I'm looking forward to smoking, and I'll have a bit more information for you about that one and AJ Fernandez coming up. So they're the videos I'm thinking about doing soon, over the next week. So if there are any particular ideas for videos you want me to do, by all means stick them in the comments and I will put them together as best I can if you want me to do them. Other than that, I'll just put these ones out where I'm smoking a cigar and I talk to you about what I find, little bits and bobs information I find about it. And of course I've got the pipes as well, and I'll do those. Anyway, you guys, this is a great cigar, so if you get a chance to smoke one, definitely buy one. So they're great. Okay, so you guys have a good one, and I will see you on the next video. Have a good one.